Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to see queue using array in data structures using C. Okay. First, let me explain you what is queue. Okay, this is the basic representation of a queue, and this is basically a queue representation using array. Okay. First, it is basically called as front or head. The first element or the first position is called as front, and the last position is called as rear or tail or back. Okay. In queue, first queue in a sense, imagine a line. Okay, first of all, stack is said. I have posted a video on stack in the previous video. If you are interested in that, you can watch. Let me give you a differentiation between stack and queue. Stack is basically example of stack is a collection of books or arrangement of books. It is basically in the principle of first and last out. Okay, and this is q, right? So that this is basically of first in first out. Like example, imagine a person standing in a line. Imagine these numbers are line, are people, and these line is a line or queue containing number of people. Okay, and these numbers as human beings. Okay, you know 3 is entering first. Imagine 3 is entering first into the line. Okay, if a person enters first, that person will be entering at the leaving at the first in a queue, right? In a queue of a hospital, if you see, or a medical shop, if you see, the first person who is entering the queue will be leaving the queue first, right? That is the basic concept of queue. Okay, and that is the basic concept in queue. If you are entering a medical shop line, you will be entering in this side, in this way, right? And you'll be leaving in this way, right? This is the basic concept of queue. Okay, example of queue is line. Imagine a line in the sense of queue. Okay, that is the basic concept of queue, and this is array. This is the implementation of queue using array. Okay, imagine this. First of all, the basic concept of queue. Okay, what is queue? NQ is adding an element into the queue, and DQ is removing the element from the queue. If we are adding 9, it will be at the last, right? If you are removing 2, after 2, what will come? 3, right? That is the basic concept of queue. Queue means line. Okay, you know that, right? And let me go to the program. Okay, this is the program basically, and we are using the header files, and we are using the macro as hash define max of 5. This is macro, and you might have been studied it in C. Okay, and this basically represents the value of max is 5. That's all. Okay, this is the macro, and you would have studied in C. Okay, and this is max, and we are representing that max as, we are allocating that max as 5 elements, and we are putting max as 5 elements. Now if you see, max as 5 elements in the sense 1 2 2 3 4 5, if you see, and the elements and the position would be 1 2 0 1 2 3 4, right? If there are 5 elements, their position would obviously be 0. Like if you see in this picture, this is 0th position, this is 1th position, 2th position, 3rd position, 4th position, 5th position, right? The position always starts like this, right? And see this code also, it means the same. Int front equal to -1 in the sense, see, this is 0, consider this as 0. If it is -1, it is here, right? It is here. If it is here, there will be no element here. Okay, now consider this. If it is -1, there will be no element. -1 means empty. Okay, consider -1 as empty. 0 1D, the position starts, right? So -1 is basically empty, right? Consider front is equal to -1 and rear is equal to -1, and q of array is equal to of max. This is basically the value that we are placing. Q of array of max is the value we are placing, and max is the number of elements. Okay, you know that max of 5, right? And q of array of max, we are storing this in some variable. This is array, right? So q of array of max. Okay, let me see further. Int choice while of 1 means we are entering the loop, and printf select on q operation. What are the operations in q? We do not push or pop, we do nq or dq. Okay, we do nq or dq. This is push and pop is used for stack. Okay, and q means nq and dq. As I told before, nq is the operation of inserting an element, and dq is the operation of removing an element, right? And this is the code. Okay, nq, and enter your choice. What is the choice you want, you are getting from the user. And switch choice, case 1 means you have to do push. Here I have put push itself. If you want, you can, you must change this. It is, want, I have made wrong here. What I must say here, NQ. Okay, right? And here also DQ. Okay, and here also it is NQ. And here also it must be not pop, it must be DQ. Okay, first, if it is NQ in the sense entering an element, pushing an element. Okay, so that NQ is basically push, but in Q we use the term it as push, NQ. Okay, you can use your words on one. I use a pushed element, or you can use NQ'd element also. Okay, I'm using this variable. Okay, since it is not going to be visible further, I'm using like this. Okay, int pushed item. Pushed item in the sense we are going to get the user from the input from the user, what item you are going to push inside. Okay, and if rear is equal to max minus 1, what is the meaning of this max minus 1? As I told before, what is the value of max? 5, right? Right, max is the value of 5, and max minus 1 in the sense the value would be 4. That is the fourth position, as I told before. Okay, max minus 1 only we use to represent. If rear is equal to max minus 1, what is the value of rear? Rear in the sense last position. Last position, if the last position takes this position, we cannot add. If there is a totally 5 members, what is this, 1 2 3 4 5 6, there are totally 6 members, and 6 is the last position. If you are making such type of array such that holds only 6 elements, you cannot add many elements, right? So that this is the final, this is the last. After that you cannot enter, or you cannot put any element after this, right? So that if it reaches the maximum value, 1 minute. So that if it reaches the maximum value, the output must be Q overflow. That is, the Q does not have any space for the element to be pushed. Understand? Else, if front equal to 1 minus 1, what is the value of front equal to minus 1? Already we have used here, right? Front equal to minus 1. I told you that if front, the position starts from 0, if front equal to minus 1 means there is no element and the front is empty. That is, the Q is empty, right? Front plus plus. If front is equal to minus 1, front plus plus. What is the meaning of that? If front is equal to minus 1, wait, let me show you this. If front is equal to minus 1, if this is the minus 1, push the front to this position, like that we are saying. Okay, push the front to this position, front plus plus. Okay, this must be in this way. Okay, printf enter the item to be pushed. We are getting that is int pushed item. We got it, right? So that int pushed item we are getting. Okay, rear plus plus, we are getting pushed item and rear plus plus. Why we are putting rear plus plus? We since it is, what is this? This is Q, right? Why we are putting rear plus plus? Since it is a Q, we the entered value will always be at the last position, right? The entered value will be at the last position, and we must make that. No, let me explain you clearly. Rear plus plus, what is the meaning of rear? This is the rear position. We are getting the element from the user. Rear plus plus, we if this is the value and this would be the rear. If there is a value only, we can enter further. Imagine 8 has not been placed, and the value, the 8 is empty and 7 is only placed. Okay, if any element like 8 must enter the loop, the rear position must be altered to 8. Imagine 8 is the last position, and if you want to enter 9 into this loop or into this queue, you must push this rear position into 9 into the last node, and then you can add 9 in that, right? I hope you understood. Okay, if first we have to move the position, then only we can put the object there. That is, we can put the number there. First we must allocate the position for that. For that only we are using rear plus plus. We are moving that position to another position, and we are allocating a pushed item into queue of array of rear. That is the pushed item is passed to the uh, position of this. Okay, queue of array of, here I have allocated position, right? Queue of array of max. So in that queue of array of rear, the pushed item is placed in the position of rear. That's all. If front is there, if front is equal to -1, push it to another. If front is equal to -1, push it to this, and then you do this arrangement. Otherwise, if it is already elements are present there, you can be getting the element from the user, and you can plus the, and you can plus in the sense what you can make the position of the rear with one extra space, and you can allocate that space for the element which is coming. Okay, I hope you understood this. I hope if you watch this video repeatedly, or if you practice this code repeatedly, you will be obviously getting that. I try to explain myself very clearly. I hope you understood. Okay. DQ. What is DQ? DQ in the sense removing an element, right? DQ in the sense removing an element, right? Removing in the sense, when you are on a line, how will you get out? First, the first person who is in the first position will be getting out first, right? Do you understand the concept? The first person only will be entering first, right? That is this concept. If front equal to -1, that is the queue is empty, we cannot take any person out, so that the queue underflow. Otherwise, if the queue is not, if any element is present, we are making front plus plus. What is the meaning of front plus plus? Front plus plus in the sense, if it is the first element, and we want to remove this item, we can just change the position of the front, right? We can just change the position of the front, and this element will obviously remove, right? That is the concept here. If front is first of all pointing here, if we move the position of the front to 4, the third element, the 3, number 3 will be obviously removed, and the position or front will be pointing only the fourth okay, fourth number. That is the concept of this. Okay, and that element, how you used to represent is that queue of array of front. We already represented the queue of array of rear. Here we are representing queue of array of front. That is deleted. We are printing a message that element is deleted, and we are moving the position of that front. Okay, understood? I hope you clearly understood. I try to explain myself very clearly. Okay, int I, if front equal to -1, that is if the queue is empty, print underflow. Understand? Otherwise, else queue the elements are for I is equal to front. From I are starting, I less than or equal to rear. From I till rear. From I till rear. Okay, understand? From I till rear, you must you must display the elements from in this order: 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In this order you must display. So front plus plus. For I less than or equal to rear, from I till rear, I plus plus. Increase the value of I and print the value of I. Q of array of I. That's all. That's all is the code. It's very simple. Now, if you watch this video till the end, you might understand very clearly. And if you practice this code, it is very easy. So thank you for watching this video fully. Thank you. சரி, இப்போ நம்ம வந்து இதோட அவுட்புட் பார்க்கலாம். ஓகேவா? இப்போ வந்து நான் என்ட்ரி சாய்ஸ் கேட்குது, 1 கொடுக்குறேன். ஐட்டம் டு புஷ்டி கேட்குது, 1 2 1 3 1 4 1 5. நான் பாப் பண்ண கேட்குது, நான் பாப் பண்ண சொல்ல போகிறேன். ஐட்டம் எலமெண்ட் 1 ரிமோட் சக்ஸஸ்ஃபுல்லி, திருப்பி பாப் பண்ணுறேன். எலமெண்ட் 2 ரிமோட் சக்ஸஸ்ஃபுல்லி, திருப்பி பாப் பண்ணுறேன். எலமெண்ட் 3 ரிமோட் சக்ஸஸ்ஃபுல்லி. இப்போ நான் டிஸ்பிளே பண்ணுறேன். 4 and 5 மட்டும்தான் இருக்குது. நம்ம 4 and 5 மட்டும்தான் போட்டோம். ஓகேங்களா? இதுதான் வந்து பேசிக்காக இதோட ஆப்ரேஷன் ஒர்க்கிங். ஓகேவா? ஸோ தேங்க்யூ ஃபார் வாட்சிங் திஸ் வீடியோ ஃபுல்லி. தேங்க்யூ.